Does that work if I do that first?
No,
it does.
Do you think that worked? Did you get the?
It does.
I mean, good opening sound there.
No,
that just popped in my head. I thought maybe I'll try and open the beer before I say anything.
Think less
and see how that works.
I think
thumbs up or thumbs down.
No, I think it works.
Okay.
No,
it's just that very beginning part is a little bit subdued until the music's done.
It's another episode of the One More I'm Out of Here podcast coming to you from the Illegal Shift Studio. We got Murphy Engraving in the house today.
Yes,
a great sponsor, great new sponsor of the show, and we appreciate everything that they have done for the One More I'm Out of Here podcast. You know, behind the scenes. You people have no idea what Kiefer and I put up with when it comes to dealing with our buddy over here, Pappas. I mean,
I just got back.
So yeah, well, that's one of the things.
I'm serious.
But the other thing is, we constantly need to hear about. I mean, you know how into his fitness he is.
Well,
you know, spending all his time at the, I don't know, Planet Fitness or Crunch or Orange Theory, whatever it is.
Jim isn't just a guy's name.
Yeah,
Dan.
I want to see.
You know, you've got to
see him in Orange.
You've got to be because when you're a guy like Pappas, you've got to be prepared whenever you're confronted by an out of control, Trump derangement syndrome
that the police that the police don't do anything once they lay their
something
hands
like
on
that.
you.
So
just want to let you know.
So we hear about this all the time, but we have obtained exclusive footage.
Oh, here we go.
Of just a short clip of the Andrew Pappas workout routine.
Oh,
and this is Andrew, you should be proud of this. This is like a public service.
Thank you.
For our listeners, this is like it could be a new a health and fitness segment.
Did you find the shake weight?
That we
No, I mean we know you find that shake weight at least 2 times a week.
Dude, I destroyed the shake weight. They had to freaking get a new one at the gym. They're like, this guy knows what he's doing.
So let's go ahead and roll that. And very, very impressive, I think. Here we go. There you go. Look at the height. Speaks for itself. Hey, this is a very rigorous workout.
I mean, I see management material plus Olympian.
I mean, it's like mixed martial arts. There's some Brazilian jiu-jitsu in there.
Mixed in with,
what? He has his concubine shave his back and arms before he begins the workout, and his head.
And my
toupee is removed.
I was wondering what happened.
The toupee is removed, and so I mean, it makes you more aerodynamic.
I like the sidekick. Look at the sidekick.
The guy. I mean, he's
the fact that he had no furniture in that room makes me giggle even more.
Maybe he does a podcast in that room. You never know.
Maybe. Well, I've got way too much furniture in this room.
So, Andrew, we appreciate you submitting that videotape for us. And
I'm glad that we've pivoted away.
I certainly hope that's a benefit to all our viewers, and you too can follow the Andrew Pappas workout routine.
I'm selling the wife beaters.
It is
online, so
it is a regimen not many can adhere to.
No, it's tough.
So,
we may potentially may have a Pappas ex-girlfriend.
I figured we pivoted away from that.
This next video very well could be a Pappas ex-girlfriend, but I mean, you can take one look at this gal and see she's got liberal libtard written all over her. And this is, I picked this video because this is just so representative of what happens when you try to have a regular, normal conversation about the Trumpster, the Trump administration, with someone who has, again, an advanced case of Trump derangement syndrome. Let's watch. Here we go.
Let me make sure the audio's on.
Audio's on. All right.
The United States is kind of trash.
Okay.
Doesn't treat its people well.
I can't crank it up too much.
How
so?
I don't really know why you're having this. Do you want to have a conversation?
Well, that's why I'm asking you. How so?
What do you mean?
You said the United States treats its people like trash, so I was just asking how.
I mean, right now, how many people are suffering because they can't afford health care? Let's start with there. How about?
And first thing, she's in.
Got it. Well, Trump just slashed prescription drug prices by 50 to 80%.
So that
are you
prescription
unhappy with
drug
that?
sellers can raise their prices. I mean, he's just working for fucking capitalism.
Well, he actually isn't
what
taking a salary.
I
And
don't
he's also
care.
lost $1 billion in his net worth from the first administration when the first time he
he's
ran.
taking money from literally anyone who will pay for his stupid fucking coin, his what is it? Trump coin,
Cryptocurrency.
Dogecoin, I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that people make money off of. Are you upset with them making money?
I mean, it was all going so well, and then she just lost her shit completely.
They were having a conversation, and then all of a sudden, physical assault.
Well, that happens so many times. You get people out there, and they talk about oh, this administration sucks, everything is wrong, and then you say, well, how so? Can you give me an example? And they're unable to provide an example. And like Andrew said, don't make me think. Don't make me think. All they want to do is parrot the lines they hear on your typical network newscast or MSNBC or I'll bet that gal likes to watch a little Rachel Maddow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Almost
no
likely.
doubt about it.
I think she actually envisions scissoring.
Do you
with
think?
Rachel Maddow.
Do you think she's in the medical industry or like
Oh,
a
no.
veterinarian assistant? I mean,
I was going to
because
say
was
she probably
wearing
needed to get home to
scrubs.
feed her cats.
Well,
All 17 of them.
no, 17's low. I mean, she's got to about 33. She buys it by the 50-pound bag and just opens the bag and lets them.
But I mean, all they got onto the subject of cryptocurrency, and she went batshit crazy.
I
She just said she attacked that guy.
I got to salute her because I haven't heard anyone mention anything about Trump cryptocurrency. So I'm kind of puzzled where that,
I haven't heard much either.
where
Well, he
she's
did.
been.
He did a.
I know it's a thing. I don't know much about it.
He did a seminar this weekend with a bunch of
Hold
cryptocurrency.
on. We're not going there yet.
Either invest. Oh, we have a segment on that.
No, we're not going to cryptocurrency.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to explain what he did this weekend.
I understand. Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Well, sometimes you two get fucking derailed, so
That's not true.
I have to bring you back in.
Laser focused on our.
But the main point,
show.
the main thumbnail was the fact that you're talking about Trump derangement syndrome and everything else. Well, apparently, the Kremlin thinks, or Trump thinks, that Putin's crazy, and the Kremlin says, "Oh no, he's just emotional." I would say this because I mean that's the main.
That's what we need
thumbnail.
is an emotional Putin.
Hopefully, we don't go to
I'm
fucking
not
head.
happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all. President, what do you want to do about it? I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake.
I tell you.
Any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
I like the forceful tone. There,
Yes.
Donald.
Doesn't like it.
So with that, I mean, so the Kremlin apparently came back and said that fucking Trump was just being emotional, right? Gotta get out of this. What happens? But the Kremlin came back and said that Trump was just being emotional in his response, his retort, whatever you want to call it. And while they were supposedly gonna have talks, he's launching fucking rockets and drones and hellfire and brimstone into fucking Ukraine.
Yeah, they had one of their largest drone attacks to date. I did read that, but
Yeah.
hey, man, at least we have a president that's actually trying to stop that war rather than what Joe Biden was doing.
Actually, yeah, and actually
years.
saying it.
Yeah.
But it was funny to hear, like, he's like, I don't like what he's doing. He's not in his right mind. He's not that the Putin that I talked to, a little bit ago. And then the Kremlin immediately comes back and is like, oh, Trump's just being very emotional. Well, I mean, how the fuck do you not be emotional over that when you're trying to stop a war and where the newly anointed Pope wants to have peace talks at the Vatican?
Yeah.
he's working toward it, but all of a sudden Trump's emotional. Are you shitting me?
Well, here's what Trump posted on Truth Social earlier today. And he wrote this: what Vladimir Putin doesn't realize is that if it weren't for me, lots of really bad things would have already happened to Russia. And I mean really bad. He's playing with fire. So it would be very interesting to see what's going on with all the back channel stuff right now between the United States and Russia. But this is no doubt it's a setback in what Trump was trying to achieve between Russia and Ukraine. But I think in the end, I think Trump is going to wind up coming out on top of this whole thing.
Did you see where Russia threatened Germany today because some of the weapons that are going into Russia from Ukraine are German made or German supplied, and Russia let it be known that their rockets can hit Germany as well. So I mean things, which that would be interesting, right? So
that would not be good.
No. So
I did not see that though.
Yeah, that was today. So I mean, let's just give it time. I mean, hopefully Trump will get on the phone to Putin and remind him that they were further along in their peace talks than that illustrated. So whatever. I mean, at least, look, I'm with Dan. I think Trump will work this shit out.
I think it's going to take a little bit more than a post on Truth Social.
Well, it probably will, but
maybe if you post something on Facebook.
I don't want to get involved. I mean, I don't want to bring the power of my social media account to bear. And I don't want to have a rocket land in.
You want to keep that in reserve?
Yeah,
huh?
I want to just hold
until the heavy guns are
till
needed.
Donald turns. I call him Don, but till Don picks up the phone and calls me, I'm just gonna kind of sit on the sidelines.
I just put a little nugget up on the screen.
Oh,
because I'm waiting for you to yell at me.
I'm already in a bad enough mood. I don't need to see that dolt. So I mean, why would you rattle the cage here? Here's the thing, though,
because you think you have a cage, though. That's the funny
compare
part.
and contrast. What let's just say, for example, this Donald Trump.
For the audio listeners, real quick, 6513 posted, and I put it on screen just to piss Pappas off.
Maybe this guy doesn't know.
I thought he could just tell Putin and knock it off.
Then he puts a little thought emoji there. Oh, that makes it even more.
Maybe this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Maybe. But let me ask you this: compare and contrast? What would Joe Biden? I mean, let's talk about for a second, anyway. What would Joe Biden be doing right now? What would he be doing right now? They'd be rattling the sabers, and he'd be saying, "Oh, we're going to send now long-range missiles to Ukraine and let them shower, Russia with deeper into Russia, and just a further escalation that benefits the military-industrial complex, which is exactly what they want." And so, look, man, I'll give Donald the benefit of the doubt. He's pissed off. I don't know what they've been talking about. Obviously, you've heard reports that a deal was coming close. Russia wants to trade with the United States, which I'm a big fan of. I don't think there's any problem with that. We have to give them a carrot, and I'm hopeful. Let us not forget that Russia now, their ruble that was isolated, and Joe Biden was going to destroy their ruble and their currency. Remember that whole bullshit?
Fuck yes.
They're actually better off now than they were before those sanctions went into effect, because Joe Biden didn't know what he was doing. But I don't see certain Democrats that listen to the show here with a stupid moniker commenting on that. But whatever. I just like the way they, they nitpick every little thing. Well, I guess he didn't know what he's talking about. Fuck off.
I thought he was going to do it on day one. Nothing happens on day fucking.
You know what? He's done so much in the first 5 months of this administration than any president of my lifetime. Dan, you've been around a bit longer than I have, so
I don't think so.
Okay, but maybe you could. I mean, you could agree with that or not agree with that. I mean, Joe. I mean, I think Donald Trump has done more in the first 5 months.
There's no question about that. President. But I don't know about any other president, but I mean, I wasn't
modern history.
I wasn't around for Ike. I wasn't around for, Woodrow Wilson. I wasn't around for.
You weren't?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Shit. I thought you and Teddy were buddies.
Nah.
Our friend Falker out of Find Out says, every time I see Biden, I keep seeing how California is saying they want Kamala as governor here. What the fuck? She don't want that. I talk to her on a regular.
Mm-hmm.
all of that bullshit between Gavin Newsom and Kamala, she's hating life over there. It fucking sucks. And then you have the Trump derangement syndrome people that just have to grab. They have to grab on. Oh, I thought he said he was going to do this.
Yeah,
well, every president has said they're going to do whatever, X, Y, and Z.
But when you're dealing with a guy like Putin, and you're also dealing, don't forget, Zelensky is a corruptocrat as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was a term that Michelle Malkin used to use. Remember when she used to write her columns?
Yeah, back in the day.
She's got a great term called crap weasel, which I would put. We
should put some of the videos of Zelensky back when he was in his entertaining days.
I would put him in that category because his grift has come to an end. He's not happy, and so I would not be surprised if there was some sort of coordination between this attack that Russia launched over the weekend and Zelensky, because I think Zelensky wants to keep the war going. Look, Trump is a man. He's a man of peace. He's also a man of business, and business is not good for peace. But I'm sorry, war. War is not good for peace, and war is not good for business.
Not good for business.
And so there are some people that war is good for business,
right?
But in the big picture, peace is better. And so that's what Trump wants. And so there are powerful forces, private and public, that are allied against Trump in this effort to bring this war to an end.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of shit going on below the surface and behind the scenes. And there is still a lot of deep state crap going on in D.C. And Trump has to still overcome a lot of that.
Hey, man, there's a lot of people making a lot of money on this whole thing.
Sure.
And
Joe Biden was fucking one of them for,
let me ask you,
what, 60 years?
Hey, are any of the Trump kids on
40 years, whatever?
I haven't heard. Are any of the Trump kids, are they on any boards for Ukrainian companies making a couple of $100K a month just doing nothing?
I haven't heard of any.
I have not heard
of that happen.
Mm.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Hunter. I'm sorry. I had the wrong administration.
Maybe you should ask that gal that was in the video we played earlier. She might know.
But it also wasn't his bag of coke either.
No, they opened
weird.
They reopened an investigation into that.
How do you like that? Dan Bongino comes out and says, "Yeah, we're investigating."
I do like Dan Bongino in the role he is. I'm very well pleased with how he's.
Why do you think he said what he said about Epstein, though?
I don't know. I mean,
because he was dead set. He was when he was doing his podcast before. He said that there's no way that Epstein killed himself.
We talked about this on the Fox News last Wednesday. He was, like you said, dead set against it. Kash Patel was, we're doing this. Guess what? They got into a fucking job, though. And I love both those dudes, but they got into a fucking job. Here's your fucking paycheck now. You're going to toe the line. And they're towing the fucking line. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Because you know as well as I do, you can have this. Well, I'm out of frame, but you can have this idea here.
How could you be out of frame? Oh, you are kind of out of frame.
I'm out of frame.
Boy, because all of me.
Well, you bitch because you're not in frame enough, so I put you in frame more.
Oh, I didn't even notice, and I didn't thank you. You got both my shoulders.
Yeah,
you just get half my.
Well, yeah. Well, you're fucking huge, dude.
So it's that workout routine.
It's that workout.
But
I prefer the term swole.
But when you sit there and you can be over here and say X, Y, and Z, like, yes, that guy's wrong, or Epstein didn't kill himself, this and that, and then all of a sudden, once the fucking pay, you get a certain position and a job title. I see it all the time in public service. Firemen, I'm going to pull the fireman card. Firemen fucking go through their ranks, and they go up. They become a lieutenant, become a captain, become a battalion chief. Oh, I'm never gonna fucking do what that guy did.
And then,
as soon as they become chief, guess what? You have a boss.
Things change.
You have a boss.
Yeah.
And you were one of the biggest bosses, being a trustee. at one point you were.
I'm sorry, you talking to me?
Yes,
Pappas, big boss.
So, yeah, right.
but no, being the trustee, like you have the ability to fire somebody.
No, because they're trustee. I mean, no.
Yes,
no,
yes, that's how it works.
No, trustees just one of three. I mean, you could influence it, but no, I get what you're saying.
It comes to you. It comes to you as a trustee or a council member or a village administrator, whatever. It goes to you. It comes across your desk. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it comes across your desk. Hey, we are recommending this person for termination.
Well, I was kind of not a usual trustee. Maybe you heard. I was a little bit different.
Okay, all right. Well, then fuck you then.
I was just a
but
little.
that's the way it fucking works.
Well,
no,
but as soon as you get
personnel
in,
matters are handled in executive session.
I
so they
do
might
like
have
what
it.
I do agree with what you're
but
saying.
he
It's
goes
like,
into executive
That's right.
session.
Maybe he doesn't want to talk about what he did back there.
I don't
can't.
care.
I can't
I'm just
talk about
saying when you get into a certain position of hierarchy, responsibility,
yeah.
whatever, you make your way up, everything changes.
Well,
and the guy sitting right across from me that I'm making eye contact with, our buddy Kevin, can fucking attest to this. That's the way it happens in the fire service. I'm never going to be that guy.
And then you become that guy.
And you become that guy.
I'll say this. I've said it a million times. I've seen a lot of people that are elected to positions, whether it be park board or library board or some boards. And, before they were very big fiscal hawks, right? And then they get into these positions sometimes and things change and you're like, oh, it's all about parks or it's all about libraries. And I will agree with you that your perceptive changes. However,
I lived it though.
The Bongino deal, we're talking about Dan Bongino, who's I like him a lot. Yeah. And, he said he said he personally didn't believe. And I will say, I think there's a lot of evidence that would support that statement that, Epstein did not kill himself or,
he was just given the means.
He was given the means. But, I do think that there's for him to come out with that statement, like, yeah, he just hung himself with a paper sheet. I'm like, China just doesn't smell right.
Still have a hard time buying that.
Well, I just don't understand what, hey, listen, we still haven't seen the list, right?
And that's the other part. They released phase one.
Right. That was a big nothing.
And Peter Ducey literally asked Caroline Leavitt, when is phase two coming out? And she was like, well, I'm going to direct it to DOJ. Now, I love her. I think she does a great job.
Fantastic.
But she did the right thing of deflecting to the Department of Justice.
Right.
But we have not heard
a peep.
Not jack shit.
Nope.
And that frustrates me.
Yeah, I think
because I'm a huge Trump supporter. You guys know that.
You are?
But why are you not delivering on what you're saying? This is where he's faltering. He's doing a lot of great things, don't get me wrong. But this is where he's faltering. You can't say you're going to release this shit.
Yeah.
And then not deliver.
I think there's just so many names on that list that they just don't want to.
And I guarantee you,
a lot of frustration.
And I guarantee you, his name's on it, and that's why it's not coming out.
Well, you think you think Trump's name's on it?
I absolutely think Trump's name's on it.
I don't know about that.
I
seriously.
I'm not saying he did anything nefarious, but he's on the fucking list. He's on the flight logs. We already know he's on the flight logs, but he was on there with his family.
Right.
But there's a reason why he is not allowing this to fucking be released.
I mean, there's pictures out there of Trump and Epstein together.
Yes.
But I think it's pretty well documented.
I don't think he did anything nefarious.
No, I don't think he did either. I'm just saying.
Don't misconstrue what I'm saying.
I think it's pretty well documented, though, that once Trump found out what Epstein was up to, that was it. He cut him off. He had nothing to do with Epstein after that. So, and look, if it turns out, and I've said before, I don't care whose name is on that list.
Bring it out.
If those people if they did something with kids they shouldn't have been doing,
right?
Consenting adults, that's a whole different story.
Bring the information.
But if they did, let the chips fall where they may.
Well, and
if Trump's name is on that list, I'm going to hate it. But we can't have someone like that. We can't have that. Can't have it.
No.
And our buddy Bosco from Forever Road podcast, he admitted that he was on the island. He had been there, but he was there with his family. Right. So that's one thing. The reason that they're not fucking releasing all of the names, I think there's something more to it. And Trump is the ultimate, yes, go ahead and release it because cash has to go to him. He has to go to him and say, all right, here's what we got. That's what pisses me off is if there's nothing to fucking be worried about, then nothing to be worried about.
I know.
Hopefully, there'll be more action on that. I really do hope.
And
so.
that's one that is, and I will agree with Cincy for one time right now on May 27th. I'll agree.
I can't.
Why wasn't the list released?
I don't know. But I won't agree with Cincy.
Pam Bondi says they're still cleaning it up to make sure that that no
Innocent
names are
people?
compromised of innocent victims.
Or minorities. Or I mean, not minorities.
Oh, Jesus Christ, where are we going with this?
Minorities. Board. Minors.
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 Yeah, not minorities.
Yeah, minorities. Close.
Mayorkas?
Or minor.
Mayorkas? Maybe Mayorkas is on that list.
No, minors. They can't release the name of minors at the time because that would be a violation. So
I did see a picture while we're, even though this wasn't even one of the topics, but I like that we went here. I did see a picture of what the fuck's her name? Epstein's old lady.
Giselle.
Is
that how you say it?
I don't know.
I've never really got the proper pronunciation.
I'm not French, but
I saw a picture. I saw a picture of her doing a foot massage.
Yeah.
Of the fucking judge.
Yeah. that signed off on the on the warrants.
Yep.
That's weird.
Or the FISA court. The FISA court.
Dude, I think
that were signed off on by James Comey.
I think
weird.
The head of the FBI, and Comey is still out there. He's got a book now.
And I think I have.
Jeez, you're gonna bring up Comey?
Well,
are you serious?
Yeah, because
a whole show on that guy.
I want you to react. You probably didn't hear he was on with Jen Psaki.
I call her
Psaki. Yeah, Psaki. And I heard this soundbite, and it just really pissed me off.
Welcome to the shit show.
I mean, the guy is an absolute disgrace. He continues to disgrace, if it's possible, to disgrace himself even further than he already has.
I don't know if it's possible.
I don't know if it's possible. Well, listen to this and tell me what you think about this.
Do you think one of the things that is happening now is that the Trump administration is, of course, testing the system in ways it hasn't been tested before. In the law enforcement sense, do you think there are laws that should be put in place that would help better manage this that aren't in place now? I mean, are we equipped? Is the law enforcement system and the legal system equipped to deal with what we're seeing now?
Probably there could be changes at the margins, but in the main, we have the tools. There are cultural impediments to doing this work. Let's say you work in the FBI. You know that one of the two political parties is, let me put it nicely, white supremacist adjacent.
Oh, white supremacist.
And so why would you want to throw your career?
So that is James Comey's play now.
Pulling that card.
He's playing. He's coming out with the race card now,
yeah.
And wants to claim that I wonder which one it is. Jim,
is that the Democrat Party?
Which one could it be?
He is such an absolute embarrassment.
White supremacist adjacent.
You know, when he gave his weak,
what a clown he is.
Weak excuse, like I didn't know what 86 to 47 meant. I had no idea. I just walking down the beach and I saw these cute shells, and I'm like, this is what you're going to go with. And the fact of the matter is the liberal media will assist him in that charade.
Oh, they will boost him up.
I don't know. I can't
not even assist.
I'm trying to decide, is he just really, really incompetent, or is he just stupid? Which one are you leaning towards? I'm now leaning towards
I think he's full-blown retard.
I just think he's fundamentally a moron.
Well, who was responsible for the rise of the KKK in this nation? Which political party were they more closely adjacent to?
Adjacent to? Which one were they formed by?
Yeah, they were formed by the Democrats.
The Democrat Party. I'd like to remember who was.
What about Jim Crow laws? Yeah. Who were the ones who were pushing the Jim Crow laws?
Robert Byrd. Robert Byrd. Where was he? He was part of
KKK.
Robert Byrd was out of West Virginia. I'm trying to remember. He was part of a social club known as
we could totally
wear sheets and hoods. The KKK. Yeah. Okay.
I was going to spot you the first two Ks.
You know, get the third one. Well, the problem is that this is just so fundamentally dishonest that this is where they have to, and you know what? You just know as soon as they bring that card out, they've lost all credibility because they have to play that bullshit. I love when Biden was president. He's like, the biggest threat to this country is white supremacy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where's this coming from? Where is this coming from? You know,
well,
we've
it
got
depended on
inflation,
what
we
day,
get
because either
No, he said it
one
multiple
day,
times.
either one day the biggest threat was either climate change
No.
or depending if I guess odd day, even day.
And that was before
If it was
he
an odd
went
day,
out.
it was white supremacy.
That was before he went out and did his really weird, creepy Adolf Hitler type speech in front of the red columns at night with the soldiers in the background. I was like, you know, if a Republican had tried to pull that speech off, could you imagine what the press would be doing? But they, you know, I mean,
So-
just whatever.
So
Whatever.
with that whole, and I'm gonna completely kind of pivot,
Are we?
even though Dan doesn't like that word, where we were gonna go. You brought up, he brought up the white supremacy shit.
Yeah.
And I want to show this video, and the way I emailed it to both of you, I don't know, Andrew, if you looked at it or not.
I don't read.
And I said, I wonder why people don't fucking watch this bullshit. Now, Andrew, I know you're not a sports fan. I mean, I saw your exercise routine, so I get it.
I was watching hockey till about 11 o'clock last night.
I completely
I
get
don't know
it.
what you were watching other than the WNBA, but yes, I get it.
But this is where the fucking world is, and we're okay with this.
What are we looking at?
Thank you guys for taking a minute to honor the life of George Floyd.
Oh, fuck.
George
I
was
saw
a
this.
father, a brother, and a son. And his
I
life,
can't remember
like
her
every
name.
life, held meaning. His death exposed the holes that are still in our justice and criminal institutions today. And his 5-year anniversary reminds us that we must continue the fight against criminal,
Look at the
racial,
crowd.
and social injustices.
And for the audio listeners, there's nobody there.
The WNBA.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's a pretty big crowd for a WNBA game.
This is
I
is
can literally count on
Every
probably
life deserves
fucking
respect
7
and
hands
dignity.
how many people.
Thank you.
this is what they want to do, and this is where they want to go. And you know, I just I don't know.
I think it's complete horseshit. And
This
our
is-
buddy James McGee did a big big podcast the other day on the anniversary of George Floyd. And James has been on the show multiple times. It's such fucking horseshit.
Oh, the narrative that they're
Yeah,
they
the
keep
narrative
pushing?
that they're fucking playing.
Yeah, they keep.
And the fact that you stop, or whether not stop a game, but whether it was halftime, I don't know if I was
Probably
before
before the
halftime
game.
or after,
It's probably before the game.
but to make this big fucking major announcement, A, 5 years later, B, the evidence does not the math doesn't math, in my opinion. That's Kiefer's opinion, nobody else's. But the fact that you wonder why your ratings are so fucking bad and nobody wants to go see that shit is because you're allowing this. And the NFL is doing the same fucking
NFL's
shit.
going down the road. Yeah,
NFL's doing the same shit.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Well, I thought the
baseball
NFL
has-
got away from a lot of that.
started-
That's why. I
they
mean, there was a
started
time
to.
when I stopped watching the NFL completely because with all the politically correct bullshit they were putting out
Well, it's
there.
because I kicked you out of my house because you were
And
a
they-
Bengal hater.
Well, but they over the last couple of seasons, their numbers of viewership has been higher than ever because they made a serious effort to get away from all that stuff. I mean, there may be some of that still going on, but they don't promote it the way they used to.
I stopped watching the NFL a while ago. I'm with Dan on that one. So
But-
whatever.
I saw that little fucking speech, whatever you want to call it, and I think it's complete and utter fucking horseshit.
You know, this is
Personally.
the kind of guy that the WNBA wants to remember and have a moment of silence for. You know, a guy that was convicted of charges ranging from theft to a firearm to drugs. He assaulted a woman who was like 7 or 8 months pregnant, pointed the gun at her belly, threatened to kill her and the baby. This guy was, a well-known drug dealer in the area. And he apparently had fentanyl in his system. I guess it's inconclusive whether or not that's really what killed him, but there's no question it contributed to his death. So, this guy was a criminal scumbag any way you slice it or dice it.
He had a deadly amount of fentanyl.
Yeah.
He had a fatal.
But he was a big guy, so I don't know if he would. But in any case, the guy, there's no question the guy was a criminal dirtbag.
Mhm.
And there's statues. And now we're supposed to,
Murals.
and that's the thing. The WNBA is at the height of its popularity right now.
Right.
Although I just heard
You want to know
Clark
why?
is on the shelf for
I know why.
she got hurt.
But Caitlin Clark is the reason.
I know.
Her and Reese, was it Angelina Reese or whatever her name is?
Yeah,
Those are the two women in the WNBA that anybody could name.
Knows, yeah, and watches. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
And then you go and do that shit. It's so ignorant to me because they're like, well, we want equal pay, we want this, and we want this, but guess what? You don't bring TV ratings in.
Well, listen,
nobody watches it.
If you could need a reason, searching for a reason not to watch the WNBA, then there you go. And I will tell you this: I watch college football for the most part. If the NFL game is on, I'll glance at it, but I'm not gonna paint my face. I'm not gonna go buy their gear per se.
It's a lot of paint.
It's a lot of paint.
Not going to buy WNBA gear.
Not going to shave a Bengals logo in my chest hair.
Jesus Christ,
So-
that could be a mural in itself.
Not even for your next workout video.
Not even for. I just prefer. Listen. I just prefer. The NBA lost me a long time ago. Listen, I was back in the day. NBA, I'd watch it when Bird and Magic Johnson and
Those were the days.
days. And you had some great rivalries between the Celtics and the Lakers. They'd be killing each other. Nowadays, I mean, I just don't see team loyalty anymore. And then they brought, pyrotechnics and cheerleaders into the stadiums, and it became a production, not really a sporting event. And I was like, I don't need this. I don't need to watch this. And the salaries went through the roof. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest of all time. Those are the days I liked watching it. But nowadays, I mean, I can't watch. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched an NBA game, and I can't tell you the last time I watched a full NFL game. However, what I did watch last night, I did watch hockey, and I'm a big fan of the NHL. I like hockey a lot. It's the playoffs, and we got a big game tonight. We got Edmonton versus Dallas.
It's weird.
So
that's a manly sport. I thought you were.
Well, you know what? Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You know the difference between a football player and a hockey player? A hockey player will take a puck to the mouth, lose half his teeth, go in the locker room for about 15 minutes, come out and finish the game. Football player will stub his toe, get turf toe, and be out for 3 weeks.
Turf toe hurts, man.
I'm not saying it doesn't hurt.
You're not wrong.
But you take a puck to the face, it hurts real well, and you're spitting teeth out like chiclets, and you still come back in the game. That is a man. Okay? So there you go.
Hey, I'm gonna pull this story up, Andrew, that you sent me, the RFK.
Oh, my stuff's at the back of the show.
It's Mitchell, actually.
Sorry.
So
Don't.
I mean, I could push it.
Split hairs.
I could push it further.
Okay.
If
I
you
don't
want.
want to risk it.
But no, yeah, you sent this to us, and I didn't get a chance to read it yet. But the RFK Jr. says COVID shots no longer recommended for kids or pregnant women.
Huh. Imagine that.
Weird.
Imagine that. Huh. And you remember,
kids and pregnant women, maybe maybe some of the most vulnerable people among us.
You know what really pisses. I mean, like, I need another reason.
What makes me giggle is the fact that people still test for COVID.
Well,
that makes me giggle.
Here's my problem, and a lot of people want to forget about these days and those days, but I don't, because remember how they ridiculed. Remember how the left rallied around ridiculing people that you were. I would know this personally because I had the paper attack my business several times. When like, oh, Mr. Pap, I found the dry cleaner and they were not masked up, and I didn't feel safe in there. And and he's a trustee, and if he doesn't mask up, we're all gonna get sick. And I was like, you know what? It's 120 degrees in my store. These people are sweating. I'm not putting a mask on them. If you got a problem, don't come in. Yeah. I still get mad.
Make a choice. Make a goddamn choice.
I get a little annoyed when I see, if you fly, you see more of them. You see them in airports. You see these mask holes running around, and they wear the blue mask, which do nothing. And they're like, now, don't get me wrong. If you're elderly and you don't want to catch the flu, I get it. Maybe you're compromised. I get that. But when I see a younger person walking around that's just, either got purple hair.
Yeah, I was just going to say purple hair, you weird son of a bitch.
Or freaking, a gear through their temple, like, 2 gears on either side of their head, and they've got gauges in their ears. And I'm not just generalizing, but more often than not, that's true. And they're walking around, they're like, you know what? or the other thing is people that, and I don't have a problem with tattoos, I really don't, but like if you're covered in tattoos but you're wearing a mask, I'm like, you're sending me a mixed message here. So I'm like, okay, well, the tattoo probably wasn't the safest thing to do from a health perspective, but you're worried about my microbes, right? So I get annoyed because those people used to. I don't have a problem, live and let live. If you want to walk through an airport and you want to look like an idiot, have at it. No look alike. But what pissed me off is back then they were judging you. They brought the weight of the government. They reported your business to the health authorities, and then somebody would come visit you. And if you didn't rectify the situation, you were going to be fined by the government. You were going to be shut down because how dare you be a denier? Well, here we have a report. Listen, I would like to remind everybody, RFK Jr. is a Democrat, and I think that he generally knows a lot more about vaccines and health than anybody I know. And I trust his opinion. The guy's ripped. He's into health. Do I think he's totally right? No, some things he might be wrong about, but he's done his homework on this COVID vaccine. I think that history will show that was the biggest scamdemic ever perpetrated on this country in the history of this nation.
Well, when it comes to Kennedy, I mean, he was all about calling out drug companies. He was all about, just getting the truth to people out there, because he knew that so much that was going on with the pharmaceutical business was a scam.
Made zillions.
He knew that, the government pharmaceutical alliance was not a good thing for the American people. And he was on these subjects way before he ever got with Trump. So him as Health and Human Services Secretary just makes total sense. And he's dedicated, man. He is dedicated to the whole MAHA movement,
Make America Healthy
which is Make
Again.
America Healthy Again.
I love it,
Yeah.
and I wish him well. And I find it hilarious that, as Dan said, some people are like, I've got my 39th vaccine. I just don't feel safe yet. I'm like, dude, you might have a problem. Seriously, you might, and the funny thing is, that I find it hilarious that people are sitting there saying, well, I'm following the science. I'm following the science.
Bullshit.
Science. Well,
They're following the latest news release.
There was nothing
from the government
about, right. There was nothing science about it. And
Yeah.
the way we shut down, for example, the budget that the big, beautiful bill that was passed and now is in the Senate, and the budget that we're talking about, we're still talking. We can't seem to cut our budget back to pre-COVID numbers.
I don't. Why is that?
I don't understand what COVID is over. This scamdemic is over. Why we can't sit there and go back to pre-COVID numbers where we're not just throwing money at the economy. I don't understand what the problem is. Even grow the 2017 numbers, even account for inflation, okay, and grow it at the growth at the rate of inflation, and then start there. But they're like acting like, oh my God, you're taking a kidney out of the guy if you're going to cut it back to anything other than post-COVID numbers. So we've got a big problem, and I hope it rectifies itself. I don't think that we're going to have the fortitude politically.
One of the things is I saw a commercial today. It's got the subdued lighting, the scary music, here's grandma sitting out in the other room, and the kids are in the other room. They're talking about grandma, and oh my God, she gave so much to this country, all the work, and now she finally got on Medicaid, and well, the Republicans want to take it away from her.
They're going to rip her.
It's just not fair.
They're going to rip her intestines out and sell them for guitar strings.
No, you know what? The cuts in Medicaid are cutting the people who should not, who are fraudulently on Medicaid.
Correct.
Millions
maybe
upon millions of illegal
aliens. Yeah.
The work requirements are for people who are able-bodied.
Right.
And I read this. I found a great piece on this from the American Taxpayers Union, and they went through it line by line, talking about so this is what the Democrats do.
Scare.
They say they're going to cut billions from Medicaid, and you'll no longer be able to go to the doctor. You're going to die. You're going to get a cold, and you're going to die because of all these cuts.
Because of Donald Trump and the Republicans.
Yeah, but
they have the race card. They play that.
I mean, there's still too much spending going on. Yeah. But when you talk about cutting anything,
right?
And then why is it, Andrew Pappas, there's so many Republicans in Congress that when it's time for the rubber to hit the road, and Doge identified all these different areas where it just abundant wasteful spending like we couldn't even imagine.
Right.
When it comes to Republicans in Congress actually putting their name on record, on the line, and saying, yes, we're going to cut this. We're not going to let this happen again. And, vote for making these cuts permanent. Why will they not vote for that? Why will they not go on record as far as, making those, codifying those cuts?
You're asking me why they have no balls? Because they have no balls.
You could put it that way.
They have no balls. Now, I will say we had 2 Republicans vote against the bill, and they were both local Republicans. Yeah. One was Thomas Massey from Kentucky. No, actually, they're both from Ohio. Wait, hold on a second.
No, Thomas Massey's from northern Kentucky.
No. We had,
and you got
Warren Davis.
Warren Davis from Warren County.
Who was the other Republican? There was one more Republican from Ohio.
There was one guy that missed the vote because he fell asleep.
He did?
Yeah.
You had one fucking job.
Yeah.
You had one job.
I forget that guy's name, but he actually literally fell asleep because they were doing this at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning.
Here's the deal.
Can you 2 lovebirds
figure this out? We'll figure it out.
Figure what out?
This conversation. Wrap it in because we're going to move.
Well, we'll see what happens because the bill, to tie it back in, kill it. We'll see what happens. The Senate now has the bill, and they're going to make changes. Send it back to the House. We'll see what happens. But I agree with Dan. No one's got the fortitude to do what matters to fix this, to fix economically what needs to be fixed. So whatever.
No, and I completely agree with both of you. But when you have, I loved seeing Ted Cruz when he was like, we have never seen, with the no tax on tips. Right. He was like, that was unanimous.
I've never seen that.
Never seen that.
No.
And I can appreciate that. And we can see how bipartisan can work, even though we are very divided. Like the way his little speech before it went to the Senate, or was getting ready to go into the Senate, hearing him talk about it, I mean, we'll see. But yeah, it's going to be a ping pong back and forth because it's not just going. Everyone thinks, it's going to go through or it's going to fail completely. No, it's all pieces that they have to just figure out.
Okay. So before we get to our sponsor for the program, I just want to mention this. We talked a lot about Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson and the last couple of podcasts and how he was killed in the line of duty. Yesterday on Memorial Day, there was another Ohio sheriff's deputy from Morrow County, Ohio, that was killed in the line of duty. Daniel Weston Shear, 31 years old, deputy killed in a Memorial Day weekend shooting. He was going to serve a warrant on a domestic violence case.
Worst ones.
The sheriff in the county, John Hinton, said after the shooting, the sheriff was a godsend for the office, for the community, for the county. Guy was never in a bad mood, always had a smile on his face. He would go out of his way to see how your day was and crack a joke. He was a great guy. And funeral arrangements for Daniel Weston Shear, 31 years old, are pending. So
probably the worst call that officers can go out on is domestic violence.
Yeah.
Never, it often
one of the most dangerous calls you can go on.
We read Larry's name yesterday at the Anderson Township Memorial Day service, and it was really nice that they saved his name for last. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Very well done.
That was fantastic.
We had a lot of very nice Anderson centric Memorial Day events yesterday, and it was nicely done. The township really stepped up, which almost ties into another thing I want to talk about at some point, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So we support law enforcement.
We do support law enforcement. Absolutely. Back the blue.
To that deputy.
Yep.
100%. He gave 100%. And then we move into
time for a little Murphy engraving. Hi, everyone. Dan Carroll here. Time to tell you about a great new sponsor for the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. It's Murphy Engraving. Murphy Engraving is the place to go for your business, industrial, and personal engraving needs. Take a look at the Murphy Engraving page on Facebook. And you're going to see all kinds of unique items that really seem to take on a life of their own because they've been customized with an image, a name, or a logo, and all of it just really beautifully done. The acrylic sports awards that light up are especially creative and very cool. The customized bottles of bourbon, those are my personal favorite. And wait till you see what they can do with items that are made out of wood. The next time you want to recognize someone special or you're looking for that one-of-a-kind gift, you'll be glad you checked out Murphy Engraving. And a bonus, you're supporting a local family-owned business run by brothers Brian and Kevin, who is a lifetime firefighter and Air Force vet. At Murphy Engraving, they turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and at Murphy Engraving, we are American-made. As American as it gets.
American.
That turned out like really good. Like,
I know.
Well, you say that every time we play.
I know.
So that's good. It's a team effort. Team effort.
I just think it's awesome.
All three of us had a hand in that, so it was a team effort.
Can we more of a hand? Can we hit on the Chicago mayor who only wants to hire blacks?
Oh.
Can we talk about that?
I thought, is that white supremacy? Oh no, that's black supremacy.
Oh, isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird how that happens?
That's okay.
Black supremacy adjacent.
That's okay.
So
James Comey is just an ass.
Racism is only one way.
Yeah, apparently
it's a one-way stream.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Is investigating the city of Chicago's hiring practices after statements made by Mayor Brandon Johnson at a Woodlawn church over the weekend. Here are some of the mayor's comments that caught the attention of the DOJ.
Business and Economic Neighborhood Development, the deputy mayor is a black woman. Department of Planning and Development, it's a black woman. Infrastructure, deputy mayor is a black woman. Chief Operations Officer is a black man. Budget director is a black woman. Senior advisor is a black man.
Today, in a letter to Mayor Johnson's office, the Department of Justice cited those comments as the reason that they're opening a civil rights investigation into whether the city of Chicago made hiring decisions based on race. In the letter, the Assistant Attorney General with the Civil Rights Division writes in part, if these kind of hiring decisions are being made for top-level positions in your administration, then it begs the question whether such decisions are also being made for lower-level positions. Mayor Brandon Johnson's office tonight did send a statement to NBC5 News saying this: the mayor is proud to have the most diverse administration in the history of our city. Our administration reflects the diversity and values of Chicago. Unfortunately, the current federal administration does not reflect either. The mayor's office went on to say that they are aware of DOJ's letter, but are waiting for the official receipt, and the Corporation Counsel will review it at that time.
So he backpedaled, and I don't have the video, but he backpedaled bigger than shit.
How do you backpedal from
on that? That's.
I mean, how do you? I mean, I'd just like to know, how do you backpedal?
Let me rephrase. He attempted to backpedal.
Okay, that makes more sense.
We try to hire everybody that is capable of doing this job, but We have a diverse group here.
No, you don't.
You have zero diversity.
Zero diversity.
Where's the trans? You got trans?
Didn't see a lot of Asians in there.
I didn't see any Asians. I didn't see a white. I didn't see a trans. I didn't see anybody else. And when his comment, when he said black people are the most generous.
Oh.
What?
Whatever.
Like, okay, I mean, you can feel that way, like within your community, and that's fine. But
when are all the normal people productive? Not necessarily only productive. When are the people going to leave Chicago? I mean, when are they going to just vote with their feet and say,
"Yeah,
fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm not." You know, you have other places to go on vacation. You have other places to hold conventions. You know, Chicago has great pizza. I'll say that. I mean, okay, whatever. They're not the only city on.
I've never been a fan of Chicago.
It's a fun party town.
I like the deep dish.
No, I don't.
Oh man,
what was it? What was the Chicago? What was the Chicago pizza place that used to be down there?
Who knows?
It's not there anymore, is it?
No.
You know why? Because it's not good.
What are you talking
This
about?
wasn't good.
Oh, Jesus Christ! We're not doing a fucking food review.
I'm just saying it wasn't good.
Well, I mean,
and they're not there anymore. Need I say more?
It was pretty good. I mean, there's
See,
a lot
Kevin,
of things.
now
that
you see
weren't
how
good,
it
but
gets
that's
derailed.
okay.
Well, just because you like it.
I'm a pretty big. I think
have
between
like
the two of us, I
5
might
more
know
tabs.
food more than you do.
No, I know that now. The Yummy Bowl is good. Have you been to there?
Yeah, I do like the Yummy Bowl.
The Yummy Bowl is
there's a technique to see.
Jesus
how much
Christ,
shit you can
stop.
pile. Okay,
Both
sorry.
of you stop.
Sorry.
Holy shit.
Sorry.
I get a lot of shit in my bowl.
Nobody gives a fuck about your goddamn food reviews.
It's a
in the
local.
Well, that's
Anderson
what
Township
guys talk
You
about.
know what?
No,
Maybe
it's
we
not.
should have a sub podcast.
Well, I told you I would help you.
Where have I
start
heard that
another
idea
one.
before?
Foodies.
Jesus
Anderson Foodies.
Christ.
All right. Oh, here we go. The fireman and you couldn't pass up this.
Wait,
video.
when am I? Yeah, I got to talk about that other thing. Don't let me forget.
All right.
Well, you have already outspoken to yourself.
I talked about pizza.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Andrew.
No,
go ahead.
I want you to get to the
No,
other
go
tab,
ahead.
'cause if you don't get to the tab,
No, go ahead.
I'm going to hit to that.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Well, then we'll go in silence for the next 5 minutes.
So anyway, what happened this weekend? We were talking about Memorial Day, and I hope everybody probably should have opened up the show, but I hope everyone had a very enjoyable and reflective Memorial Day yesterday. And when I was younger, I don't know about you guys, but when I was younger, everyone was like, "Oh, it's Memorial Day, it's the start of summer, the Indy 500, blah, go get beer, yada yada yada." But I mean, as I've gotten older, it really has morphed into what I think is the real reason of Memorial Day. And obviously I appreciate a lot more. You should really dwell on the day and, what it's about. And it's about servicemen, women that have lost their lives defending this country. And you should honor them by being more reflective. And we had a lot of events here in Anderson Township that were very well done. Our trustees did a great job. At the event we had. We also had a small ceremony down at Hillcrest Cemetery that was very, very special. But
your co-host did a great job.
Yes, you did. You held that flag so well. And I wanted to compliment you on your flag holding technique. But I will say this. I was puzzled. There is and I'm not going to mention her name, but there is a Democrat running for trustee. And, given when you want to be in politics, I think there should be a fundamental idea or understanding of where your jurisdiction is. Like if you're running for trustee of Anderson, why in the hell would you go spend any amount of time at a Memorial Day celebration, parade, whatever, in Newtown? Newsflash, Katie. And that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to share her name.
This actually flows in how I'm going to end the show.
But Katie, why would you go spend time in your political shirt for trustee at the Newtown Memorial Day parade when they can't vote for you as trustee? I mean, you might want to learn the fact that who can vote for you and who can't. That'd be like me throwing on, or anyone running for office, Josh or Lexi, two great trustee candidates here in Anderson Township. That'd be Josh Girth and Lexi Lawson.
I like Lexi
running for office and then doing a parade with their garb on in, I don't know, downtown Cincinnati. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It definitely does.
You're very unqualified for your position that the Democrats have thrust you into, and I can't wait to see the thrashing you're going to get at the polls in November. There, said it.
All right, so
it's like to say thrust.
That's actually a perfect segue.
Thrashed. You
said
heard
thrust.
What's wrong
thrust.
with you, weirdo?
That's what you said.
You're like Jason Simmons on the school board. Your mind is preoccupied with sex.
This is a little long.
That guy's a creep.
This is a little long, but I'm going to let it play. But that actually is
That's what she said.
Kind of flows in. So
I haven't had that. How do I think it is?
Says it's Kevin Bacon's wife.
Looks like Dylan Mulvaney, doesn't it?
It's because, well, I've never really had what most would consider a job. However, I have had large groups of people listening to what I say for quite a few years now, and it's given me an inflated sense of self-importance. So I will now, at the ripe old age of 37.9, bestow upon you 9 life lessons. 1, you don't have to have a dream. Americans on talent shows always talk about their dreams. Fine, if you have something you've always wanted to do, dreamed of, like in your heart, go for it. After all, it's something to do with your time, chasing a dream. And if it's a big enough one, it'll take you most of your life to achieve. So by the time you get to it and are staring into the abyss of the meaninglessness of your achievement, you'll be almost dead, so it won't matter. I never really had one of these dreams, and so I advocate passionate dedication to the pursuit of short-term goals. Be micro-ambitious. Put your head down and work with pride on whatever is in front of you. You never know where you might end up. Just be aware the next worthy pursuit will probably appear in your periphery, which is why you should be careful of long-term dreams. If you focus too far in front of you, you won't see the shiny thing out the corner of your eye. 2, don't seek happiness. Happiness is like an orgasm. If you think about it too much, it goes away. Keep busy and aim to make someone else happy, and you might find you get some as a side effect. We didn't evolve to be constantly content. Contented Homo erectus got eaten before passing on their genes. 3, remember, it's all luck. You are lucky to be here. You are incalculably lucky to be born. Understanding that you can't truly take credit for your successes, nor truly blame others for their failures, will humble you and make you more compassionate. Empathy is intuitive, but is also something you can work on intellectually. 4, exercise. I'm sorry, you pasty, pale, smoking philosophy grads, arching your eyebrows into a Cartesian curve as you watch the human movement mob winding their way through the miniature traffic cones of their existence. You are wrong and they are right. Well, you're half right. You think, therefore you are, but also you jog, therefore you sleep, therefore you're not overwhelmed by existential angst. You can't be can't, and you don't want to be. Play a sport, do yoga, pump iron, run, whatever, but take care of your body. You're going to need it. Most of you mob are going to live to nearly 100, and even the poorest of you will achieve a level of wealth that most humans throughout history could not have dreamed of. And this long, luxurious life ahead of you is going to make you depressed. 5, be hard on your opinions. A famous bon mot asserts that opinions are like assholes, and that everyone has one. There is great wisdom in this, but I would add that opinions differ significantly from assholes, and that yours should be constantly and thoroughly examined. We must think critically and not just about the ideas of others. Be hard on your beliefs. Take them out onto the veranda and hit them with a cricket bat. Be intellectually rigorous. Identify your biases, your prejudices, your privileges. Most of society's arguments are kept alive by a failure to acknowledge nuance. We tend to generate false dichotomies and then try to argue one point using 2 entirely different sets of assumptions, like 2 tennis players trying to win a match by hitting beautifully executed shots from either end of separate tennis courts. 6, be a teacher. Please, please, please be a teacher. Teachers are the most admirable and important people in the world. You don't have to do it forever, but if you're in doubt about what to do, be an amazing teacher. Even if you're not a teacher, be a teacher. Share your ideas. Don't take for granted your education. Rejoice in what you learn and spray it. 7, define yourself by what you love. I found myself doing this thing a bit recently where if someone asks me what sort of music I like, I say, well, I don't listen to the radio because pop song lyrics annoy me. Or if someone asks me what food I like, I say, I think truffle oil is overused and slightly obnoxious. And I see it all the time online, people whose idea of being part of a subculture is to hate Coldplay or football or feminists or the Liberal Party. We have a tendency to define ourselves in opposition to stuff. As a comedian, I make my living out of it. But try to also express your passion for things you love. Be demonstrative and generous in your praise of those you admire. Send thank you cards and give standing ovations. Be pro stuff, not just anti stuff. 8, respect people with less power than you. I have in the past made important decisions about people I work with, agents and producers, big decisions based largely on how they treat the wait staff in the restaurants we're having the meeting in. I don't care if you're the most powerful cat in the room. I will judge you on how you treat the least powerful. So there. 9, finally, don't rush. You don't need to already know what you're going to do with the rest of your life. Don't panic. You will soon be dead. Life will sometimes seem long and tough, and God, it's tiring. And you will sometimes be happy and sometimes sad, and then you'll be old, and then you'll be dead. There is only one sensible thing to do with this empty existence, and that is fill it. Not fill it, fill it. Life is best filled by learning as much as you can about as much as you can, taking pride in whatever you're doing, having compassion, sharing ideas, running, being enthusiastic. And then there's love and travel and wine and sex and art and kids and giving and mountain climbing. But you know all that stuff already. It's an incredibly exciting thing, this one meaningless life of yours. Good luck, and thank you for indulging me.
Yeah, it's good.
There you go. Not bad. Not bad at all.
I don't know who he was, and I don't know where it was said.
He's some comedian. I don't know his name.
Is he British? Is it over then?
Joe Billy 007 sent that to me.
Do you know which university that was?
I don't.
Neither do I.
Well,
but it was pretty good.
It was very well said. I like it. Like it a lot. Nothing's wrong with what he's saying. Who said there was something wrong with what he's saying? I don't think we said that. Did we?
I saw a video one time.
It grabbed me. It grabbed me to where, like,
touched you.
When you sit there and think about things, and where you get pissed off, you get frustrated. Joe and I had some house issues over the couple house issues over the last couple of days. She sent that to me, and I watched it, and I was like, "You just sent me a video. Go back and watch it again. How big of a deal is it?
It's not that big.
Just know it'll get fixed. You'll figure it out. Don't let the big things hamper you down." But it was. I'm glad she sent that to me, and sorry that you guys probably didn't want to watch it. But
can I still?
No, it was good. I like a good
I didn't
commencement.
say I didn't want to watch it. You didn't give me the context of it.
I didn't give you a choice either.
No, you didn't give me a choice. And honestly,
that's what happens when you're in control.
I was pissed off when I came in here, and I will say that video will make me a little less pissed off until I walk from that door to my car, and then I will get pissed off again.
That's perfect.
That's okay.
That's perfect.
Do you still have the fake Tesla insignia?
I do. You know what? So I was on my way back. I was on my way back from Michigan this weekend, and there was a guy. I stopped at a gas station, and a couple of bikers were next to me, and they saw my Tesla, and they thought that was the best thing ever. They were like, "That is so awesome." It's like, yeah, I know, I made it. But anyway,
I know we're going late.
We're a little late.
I know we're going late, but I am going to share this real quick before we leave.
Is it deep dish pizza?
Well, let's maybe deep
Can't
dish
believe Dan
something.
disparaged pizza.
Student teacher allegedly tells
Oh, here we
police
go.
she's 13. We got another teacher in the house.
It's a female teacher. Imagine that.
Yeah, weird. Austin, Texas. Student teacher was taken into custody after she allegedly admitted to being sexually involved with a teenage boy.
Come on now.
Come on now. 22-year-old Darian Christine Rogers was charged after she allegedly engaged in a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old boy.
It's like 5 years. I mean, that's not as bad as the other ones that we've heard about. That's really, I mean, honestly, in 22
and 17. If she would have waited 1 year,
one more year,
she would have been in the clear.
Unless she had moved to Kentucky, and then it would have been okay.
Let's see what KTBC reported that Rogers, who worked as a teacher at Rouse, I think that's right, Rouse High School in Austin, since January this year, met the teenage boy at a grocery store the pair worked at prior to becoming a student teacher.
Wait. She was a student teacher.
Student teacher.
Okay, well, that's a bit different. I mean,
it's still not different.
No, it's just a student teacher.
There is no difference.
No, that's wrong. But I mean, it's not like she. I mean, it's a little. I mean, I'm not. I'm hard on these things as much as you are, which is funny to say.
But his buddies,
it's just that
his buddies are all saying, "Dude, you could have got a better looking teacher."
She's
than
a
that. I did.
student teacher, so that's means like she's working her way into being a teacher. She's not a full blown.
She's doing the things that real teachers do.
But she's still an adult.
She is an adult. I would say it's obviously still wrong.
What are they teaching teachers at teacher college? What are they teaching
at
them?
teacher college?
What are they teaching
Is,
them?
is, it, is it like Hogwarts from?
I guess
Harry Potter?
You mean
there's so many of the. Well, the teachers go to.
You mean that education degree that they all get?
Well, same thing.
I mean,
Authorities were alerted to Rogers' alleged actions after a student who claimed she had "quote unquote" personal knowledge of a sexual relationship involving a teacher and a minor went to police sometime in April.
Told you guys, I want everybody, here's your homework. Look up Macron and his wife and how they got together. And this story holds nothing on that. You find out about Macron and his wife and how they met and the situation, the age difference between them, and it has nothing on this story. And look, now he's the, what is it, president of France or whatever you got, the premier? I don't know what they're called. What is it?
I think he's the president.
Yeah, it's France. I don't go to France very much, but I don't. Yeah, so look that up and you'll be astounded.
The student also sent police a voicemail from Rogers that allegedly included her admitting to sending explicit images to the teen per the publication. According to the Post, the teen initially denied having a relationship with Rogers when speaking with police after being shown an exchange like, hey, we got you, bitch. Here it is. She apparently took Plan B's.
What?
She took Plan B contraception.
Like
just, oh, shit, you came in.
Why do you
God, I got to take this pill.
Now the show just went, yeah, we go.
We're not monetized yet anyway, but so it doesn't matter.
So wait a second. So she took a video of her taking a Plan B pill. Why would you even video that?
To show, and it gets into it here later, where she's proving to him, hey, I have the receipt for the Plan B, and here's a video of me taking it.
So she was saying, I still want to get banged by you. Even though you might have,
or I don't want to get pregnant by you.
I don't understand any of this, but whatever.
I find this, and I made the joke, to Jill earlier today when I pulled this one up, because this is one of my favorite segments.
Don't tell me she worked with special ed kids.
No, she did not.
But
I said, and I told you earlier today where we were playing golf, the shit just falls into my fucking lap.
You mean you don't even seek this?
I don't search this out.
It's probably
I don't search the teachers out, but I do love it. I do love high school kids fucking a teacher. I do. I love it.
It's in the algorithm.
Why would you not?
So why? Because just think if you.
Your iPhone is listening to you, so it sends you every single one.
What if you're that kid? Wait. What if you're that kid's parents? That's why not. Because you know what?
But I'm not that kid's parent.
I know you're not. But what if you were? You'd be living.
If I was that kid, I would not. I've said it before. I would never tell a fucking soul.
You're right.
I would not go to the football team.
No.
And be like, hey, I'm fucking Mrs. Jones or whatever. So, yeah. I would never fucking say that.
I don't understand.
I'd be like Jackie Gleason in Cannonball Run. There's no way in hell you came from my loins.
That's East there. That's
is that Smokey and the Bandit?
Well, here's the deal.
Get it right, sir.
It's still funny. I don't care what
it's not. That story's bad, but it's not like the other stories where the teacher's in her 40s and the kid's in his 12 or 13. Those just make me sick, and that's just a sign of mental illness on the part of the individual involved.
Correct. But if the teacher's hot, and the guy is willing to do it, he should just shut his mouth.
He should shut his mouth, but he's a 17-year-old
We've said
boy.
this since day one of this podcast because we've seen him.
There's a lot of stories out there.
A ton of them. Shut your fucking mouth. So we are going to come back to you on Sunday.
Sunday.
Correct?
Yes, if I'm here.
You're good with Sunday? If not, I will remote you in, Andrew.
You said that last time, and I got brushed.
I sent the email. I thought I sent the email, and it went to my outbox.
Actually, to be honest with you, I completely forgot about it as well.
So it worked out perfect. It worked out perfect. But hey, we got Kevin Murphy in the house.
Yes,
thanks for hanging out, brother. Good to meet you finally.
Now you see in person how the magic happens, and it's not so magic, is
this fucking diatribe of
Should he come up here and stick his face in front of the camera?
Kevin, what's your opinion on deep dish pizza?
Can you read this right here? What's that say?
I don't know.
There he is, right there. There's our sponsor, Murphy Engraving, baby.
It's deep dish.
I didn't say it wasn't good. I just said it wasn't my favorite pizza. And on
top
it wasn't
of that, good. You said that's the reason it closed.
Yeah, because it's not the best. There's lots better pizza than that.
Like what?
And the service was always terrible when I went.
Guess what this sounds like?
I'm